Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The General Hospital spoilers for Thursday, October 24th, show that Danny Morgan and Scout Quartermaine had brunch with Alexis Davis, and they all discussed what a fantastic thing Sam McCall was doing. In Sonny Corinthos' office, he received updates on Jason Morgan's entire Africa story, including the fact that Jen Sidwell remained alive. Sonny believed that doing business with Holly Sutton would be worthwhile because they were discussing stolen jewels worth $100 million. Vengeful Sidwell could be a problem, but Sonny urged that they work quickly so that Sidwell doesn't connect the dots. However, Sonny stated he couldn't handle this today and went to GH. Meanwhile, Carly Spencer ignored Jack Brennan's invitation to meet up and went to Sam's hospital room instead. Carly promised Sam whatever he wanted and praised her for protecting Lulu Spencer. Brennan eventually found Carly and emphasized the need of Jason's participation now that Sidwell was in the United States. Carly summoned Jason and requested his assistance, so Jason informed Brennan about Holly's stolen gems. Jason also urged Brennan not to hurt Carly, as horrible things seem to happen when people do. After Laura Collins gave comatose Lulu a pep talk before the transplant, Rocco Falconeri offered his mother one as well. Lucas Jones was in a towel in the GH locker room when he noticed Isaiah Gannon closing his eyes and focusing. Isaiah acknowledged to having preconceived notions about his operations. Lucas noted that each surgeon had their own rituals, and he subsequently discovered an Eckert cinnamon bun in the locker. Brad Cooper seems to admit that he placed it there because he knew Lucas always had Eckerts before his surgery. Lucas was annoyed by Brad's overstepping of bounds, but Brad insisted that he was only trying to help. There were some awkward times when Lucas' towel slipped, but Brad acted as if he'd seen it all before and suggested Lucas get his new mole looked out. Back with Isaiah, he met with Laura before Lulu's surgery. Laura discussed how Lulu had always been a warrior and how Isaiah may provide her daughter with the opportunity to win again. At Pentonville, Rick Lansing surprised Heather Weber by informing her that the judge had vacated her sentence, making her a free woman. Rick said that Heather would need to locate work as well as a place to live. Heather wanted to crash with Laura or Alexis, but Rick declined because they were both dealing with family issues at the time. At the hospital, Portia Robinson informed Elizabeth Baldwin of Curtis Ashford's cryptic plan to deal with Heather. Brad bragged about getting up early to buy baked goodies for the staff before announcing he was going early for the Woodchucks game. Liz was astonished that Brad had bailed on his shift, but Portia had no complaints because of Brad's leverage. Lucas approached Brad after learning that he had used Britt Westbourne's memories to maneuver his way into a lab technician post. Brad admitted to dropping Britt's name, and Lucas agreed Britt would have been pleased. In Curtis' office, he greeted Steven Weber and referred to him as Heather's prodigal son. Curtis had summoned Steven because he needed him to transport Heather far away from Port Charles, and he was willing to pay Steven for his efforts. Steven was unsure if he could persuade Heather to leave because of Ace Cassadine, but Curtis predicted that Laura would eventually cut off access, leaving Steven as Heather's only option. Curtis hinted at having Steven's medical license renewed and supplementing his salary until he was back on firm financial footing. Curtis stressed that if Steven did not take Heather, he would be forced to resort to considerably less attractive alternatives. Heather eventually contacted Liz to come take her up for Franco Baldwin's sake, and she arrived outside Pentonville as Heather was leaving. Heather was overjoyed when her baby, Steven, emerged unexpectedly. Back at the hospital, Curtis assured Portia that the horror was over, since he was convinced Steven would get Heather out of Port Charles. Meanwhile, Sam had one more visit with Alexis, Danny, Scout, Rocco, and Dante in her hospital room. There was a lot of commentary about how heroic Sam was for assisting Lulu. When it was time for Sam's procedure, Dante kissed her as everyone gathered to say their goodbyes before her surgery. Laura, Rocco, Dante, Alexis, Danny, Scout, Sonny, and Carly were all present to express their support. Jason also arrived to say Sam had this, to which Sam answered that it was a piece of cake. Scout and Danny expressed their love for Sam, so she reciprocated while being wheeled to the OR. General Hospital spoilers predict Sam's loved ones will have to deal with a devastating loss in the near future, so stay tuned. General Hospital spoilers for Friday, October 25th indicate that Anna Devane will make a vow to Laura Collins. After vowing to find Valentine Cassadine, Anna will insist on returning Charlotte Cassadine to her family. At Crimson, Sasha Gilmore Corbin will confess to Nina Reeves that Holly Sutton is her biological mother. Nina will ask why Sasha is confessing now, so Sasha will provide updates on Holly's revelation about Papa Robert Scorpio and her mother's insistence on Cody Bell being her cousin. Although Sasha refuses to believe it, she appears concerned. Nina will hear about all of the family issues and offer her support, so Sasha will appreciate having someone to lean on. According to General Hospital spoilers, Robert will also inform Diane Miller of the daughter news. Robert may acknowledge that he is inclined to believe Holly's statements are true. The WSB lab will finally call Robert with the DNA results, so Sasha will show up to hear what they say. Sasha is likely to realize that there is paternity proof, which will break her heart as she considers what this means for her relationship with Cody. Holly is next expected to visit Cody at the Quartermaine stables. Cody is unaware of the cousin drama, so will Holly catch him off guard? It's possible Holly will simply announce that she is Sasha's mother and leave the rest for Sasha to explain once the DNA results are released. However, Holly is renowned for making messes, so she may spill Cody and Sasha's Scorpio link herself. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Baldwin will be pleasantly thrilled to learn that Steven Weber is back in town. Liz, on the other hand, will likely be concerned about the drama Steven may encounter now that he has reunited with his mother, Heather Weber, who has recently been granted her release. Curtis Ashford has agreed to make it worthwhile for Steven if he can get Heather out of town, but that plan may face some obstacles. There will be some tension when Heather goes to Bobby's with Steven, who will proclaim that a certain subject is off bounds. Of course, Steven will have a difficult time convincing Heather to leave Ace Cassadine, but he will make a pitch on Friday's episode to see what she thinks about leaving PC together. Back with Elizabeth, she will be unable to make any strong predictions about Heather's next step. Liz will simply hope that Heather takes advantage of this second chance to change her life and avoid causing any further harm. Alexis Davis will wait for a positive report on Sam's surgery. Alexis believes everything will be okay, but tragedy awaits Sam's family. Today on General Hospital, Sam and her family prepare for surgery, Brad and Lucas begin to thaw, and Curtis makes a pitch to Steven. On today's General Hospital, Alexis and Danny are both proud as they complete their meals, and Scout expresses how important it is that Mom is saving someone's life. Scout leaves to wash her hands, and Alexis says Rocco is a good big brother. He always steps up when she needs him. I think you're awesome, and so does your mom. Brennan is on the phone with Carly, questioning why she is avoiding him. He has to see her immediately. She claims it's not a good moment, but he believes it's necessary. Trust me, so is this. Carly hangs up and enters Sam's room, inquiring how she is. She believes Lulu will need a miracle to get through, but she has a shot thanks to Sam. If you need anything, please tell me. GH's Sam gestures to a book in her lap, looking up eagerly from her hospital bed. Sam smiles, explaining that Carly did not come in for a chat. She wants something. As always. Yes, I do. I wanted to thank you. Sam looks at her, chuckling, and admits that Carly surprised her, but before they can bond too much, Brennan enters, asking for Carly. Sonny visits Jason in his office, exchanges niceties about Sam's special day, and then demands to know what occurred in Africa. Jason updates Sonny on Sidwell, Lucky, and the WSB intervention. They got Lucky out, and Holly was there. She had the diamond? He asks. Sonny says, diamonds, plural. She has enough for him to realize she is in jeopardy. The kind of hassle that could be worth it. The loot will most certainly be approximately $100 million, and Sonny wants to collaborate with her. Jason warns him that Sidwell is still alive and is in the United States, most likely seeking for Holly. Jason claims it was his mistake to leave Sidwell alive. Sonny believes that if they act quickly, they will be able to get Holly out before Sidwell connects the dots. But he has somewhere to go and departs, just as Carly phones Jason. Brennan brings Carly outside, and she scolds him for dragging her away while Lulu is going to drown. Great, but first he needs her to persuade Jason to cooperate. He has important knowledge on the Lucky Spencer operation. Carly is hesitant to assist him until Brennan informs her that Sidwell will be visiting the United States, most likely for Anna and Jason, and that the extraction she requested his assistance with is about to turn into a full-fledged international catastrophe. Why did you help me? If she has to ask, she isn't as intelligent as she appears. It was chivalry, but she questions it. Jason approaches, angry that Carly did not mention Brennan when she called. She requests a favor for both of them. Jack requires complete information about what occurred. He saved Jason's life, and she and Jason both owe him. Please help him. She leaves the two alone. Laura grabs Lulu's hand as Dante and Rocco open the door, assuring her that she and everyone else will be there. She advises Rocco that now is the time to say something to his mother before surgery. Rocco sits down beside her. Dante and Laura wonder if she will know him when she wakes up, as the teen places his cross-country medal in his mother's hands. Lulu taught him never to give up. Don't give up now. With the locker room, Isaiah is standing with his eyes closed as Lucas walks by with a towel. Isaiah is imagining the surgery, and they both say they are ready. Isaiah goes away, leaving Lucas to discover a cinnamon bun in his locker with a letter. He begins eating as Brad enters, stating that he always needs Eckerts before operating unless he is hungry for something else. Lucas is horrified. Brad was at his locker, saying he had clearly defined his boundaries. He just had some leftover food and wanted to show his support. He will take it back. But Lucas replies he's already had a taste, takes a step back, and drops his towel. Relax, it's nothing I haven't seen before. Lucas becomes uneasy as he walks away. Isaiah speaks seriously to Laura, holding her hands and looking directly at her. Out in the waiting room, Dante suggests that Rocco go to school. He doesn't want to leave, so Dante offers if Sam agrees, he can stay and do his schoolwork. As they leave, Isaiah approaches and Laura inquires about their well-being. They discuss the hazards, but Laura assures the doctor that if he gives her the opportunity, she will succeed. Rick sits with Heather in the jail conference room. She regrets missing Alexis and expresses a desire to win something. Rick informs her that the judge has vacated her sentence. She's going free. She's stunned. Are you messing with me? There are no halfway houses, parole officers, or ankle monitors. Nothing. She's completely free. Heather stands up, shouts, and hugs Rick, thanking him sincerely. She plans to make the most of her second chance. That's excellent, but the HIP settlement may take some time to arrive, so she'll have to sustain herself in the meantime. She does not want to think about that right now. Fine, but she needs to find a place to stay. She names Laura or Alexis, but Rick argues they are both going through a crisis and are connected. As Rick sits patiently at the prison table with Heather, studying her with folded hands while she speaks. Think. Is there anyone I can call? Liz tells Portia about Heather and asks if she can help. If Plan A fails, I may take you up on that offer. Liz wonders what Plan A is. She does not receive an answer because Portia insists that they focus on the transplant rather than Heather. Curtis is taking care of her. Liz warns her to be cautious. Isaiah comes over to help himself to some Eckerts, but is called away before he can finish his meal. Brad wanders over, agreeing to hold one for the doctor, then informs Liz and Portia that he needs to leave his work early to attend a baseball game. Liz is stunned, but Brad makes a veiled remark to Portia, who looks unwell and encourages him to have fun. Liz from General Hospital frowns as she glances up at Portia. They're discussing about Brad when Lucas steps in and cracks a joke about Brad's pastries, prompting the crew to forget about him. In his office, Curtis meets Steve as Heather Weber's prodigal son. Steve informs Curtis that he is no longer a doctor and inquires as to why he requested an in-person appointment. He doesn't want to remain long. Port Charles has a lot of negative memories. Curtis informs him that when Steve departs, he wants him to take his mother with him. I was really hoping this trip had nothing to do with Heather. Curtis updates Steve on Heather's release. He stands up, shocked. What do you want from me? Curtis simply wants him to take Heather far away from Port Charles, but Steve refuses. Curtis claims he'll make it worthwhile. Steve isn't sure he could get her if he wanted to. He can't get her out of Port Charles. Curtis is confident she will go voluntarily. Laura will finally cut off access to Ace, leaving only Steve. Steve continues to refuse to accept responsibility for her, so Curtis threatens him that if he does not, he would be held accountable for what's left of her. He wants to defend his family, and Steve needs to be with them. Curtis will boost Steve's income until he is able to support himself independently. It is either that or the alternatives, which are much less pleasant. After some thought, Heather phones Liz and asks if she can bring her up from prison for Franco. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.